particular verse, the 4.9, is very, very important verse actually. This is not an ordinary verse. This verse being told or being discussed during the appearance day of the God, which is Janmashtami, Gaur Purnima. During those festivals, this particular verse being discussed. So today we should be very attentive again. So hearing what is this verse saying. So the purport is like this: one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities. He said, my appearance and activities. Who knows about this appearance of Krishna and activities of Krishna does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world. He is fully guaranteeing, if you know my appearance, if you know my activities, upon leaving this body, you will not come back to this birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Very important shloka which every day we should remember this actually. Just by knowing this, at some of the purport if we read, just by knowing this, instantly you are liberated. Just accepting this truth, you are already liberated. Accepting that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are liberated. You came one step forward for liberation. That means you are going to get liberated. Understanding this truth. Even though we have so many papas or punyas or whatever we are carrying with us, the karmas, but by understanding this, you are one step closer to Krishna. Ultimately, you are getting liberated. Everyone has to be attracted by the Krishna. Only the distance is making us the path. Krishna is like a magnet. Our souls, when we attach, we will immediately go and attach to the Krishna. But if we are very far distant, that means the magnetic force is not so near, so that you are unable to attract immediately. Understand this particular thing. Just by understanding appearance, but if you carefully observe, Krishna here did not mention understand my appearance and disappearance. There is no word called disappearance here. Understand very carefully this one. One who knows transcendental nature of my appearance and activity. He does not say my appearance and disappearance. But now Krishna is not here. So how do we understand that Krishna is not here? So he disappeared. Appeared and disappeared. Appeared in Dwapar Yuga and he disappeared in Dwapar Yuga. Now we are in Kali Yuga. How to understand this particular place? If Krishna is around or not? If you notice the sun, sunrise and sunset. Is it appearance of the sun in the morning and disappearance of the sun in the evening? It appears us to be like that. But sun is always there. Is giving light sometimes to this part of the world, sometimes to other part of the world. The sun is always there. There is no disappearance for the sun. Similarly, Krishna is always there in his original form. Krishna is always there in his original form. Now he is in this planet, now he is in some other planet. He is not taking birth again in other planet. He is always there. If you understand this one, you are liberated. Krishna is always there. Appearance. He is appearing in this world. So we are celebrating his appearance there, Janmashtami. There is no disappearance of Krishna. We are not celebrating that. notice it carefully. The sun is always there, Krishna is always there. But we celebrate appearance and disappearance. We celebrate appearance and disappearance. Why? When we take the birth, we are taking this body. When we are taking this body, we are celebrating birthdays. We are celebrating birthdays. When disappearing, also we are doing some celebration for the soul. Okay? So, for us there is appearance and disappearance, but for Krishna there is no disappearance, it's always appearance. One who knows this truth, liberated. There is no other question, there is no other philosophical speculation, there is no other, formula inside this. Krishna is guaranteed it. But why Krishna appears? Why Krishna appears? Krishna appears to attract all the living entities. He appears to establish the religion back. He kills demons and he establishes the religious principles. That is only the prime purpose. He protects the devotees. He kills demons. He attracts the devotees. He establishes the religious principles. That is the only thing. When Krishna appears, he will do that. Nothing else. So, this Bhagavad Gita is saying, if you just understand about this appearance and disappearance, you will be liberated. But how our individual soul or how our Jivatma can understand this subject, we should have that question. We are contaminated. We are contaminated. When we are in this contamination position, how should I understand the transcendental message? You got the point. I am contaminated. So how should I understand the transcendental message? But are you really contaminated? We are also part of Krishna. We are small Jivatmas. Krishna is Paramatma. We are also pure. We are also pure. But now we are in a contaminated position. In this contaminated position, we are trying to understand again the purity, which is Paramatma. See the link there. If you see the simple example, if you see the water in its purest form, you can see through. You can see through, it is very transparent in its purity. But if water is having mud and all other impurities, then it is mixed, the color changed of water, then if you try to see that, you cannot see through it. As simple as that. Now we are Jivatmas, we are contaminated, that's why we are unable to see it. Water is mixed with dirt. But then how we can bring that water back to purification? That means we process the water, we apply some filtrations in the water systems, then we again get back the recycled water, or new water, or pure water. In Singapore, this is a new water, right? Applying filtration systems. Similarly, for our spiritual understanding, there are certain filtration processes are there. That filtration processes we should apply. Then only this contaminated will be gone and your purity will come into the picture, and then with that purity you will see through Paramatma. Are you with me? Is it easy? That saying is easy, right? Yeah, we should apply the filtration system, we should follow this process, then you can understand Krishna. Saying is easy, but is it really easy? The gold also comes with lot of effort, with lot of fire, and then if you wanted to melt the hot iron rod also, you need to apply a lot of fire, then at that fire only you can mold even the rod. So saying is very easy, application is very difficult. Application is very difficult. Why it is difficult? We shall understand this. Why it is difficult? Application is why it is difficult. Is it easy or is it difficult? Or is it appearing as to be difficult? You see, very easy, right? You say it's very easy. Krishna consciousness is very easy. All acharyas, if you ask, it's very easy. But it appears to be very difficult for us. Or we should get up in the morning, do chanting or do worship, go to office and again come back, again clean the home, clean the temple, again chant and again do a lot of activities. It appears to be very difficult, but it is very easy. Why we are thinking very difficult? Because we are conditioned. We are bounded in the modes of the material nature. We are bounded in the mode of ignorance, bounded in the mode of passion, bounded in the mode of goodness. All these three are pulling you. You are trying to come out from that clutches. Then it is appearing difficult for you. That's why it is appearing difficult for you, because you are trying to come out from that clutches. And one more thing, appearing is difficult. Why? Because you are still not convinced that there is some eternal abode where Krishna is residing. In our last shloka we mentioned, Yada yada hi dharmasya, I will come into this world. That means Krishna is there in some other world. Even though we read, but we are not convinced. When we are not convinced, it appears to be difficult. We are not convinced. Why? We are not convinced because still we are not in that situation where we need to get convinced. We are not in that situation. We are still happy situation. Last time Jagannath Priya Prabhu was saying, Bhagavad Gita class is giving you pleasure. We are coming here to understand this Bhagavad Gita class so that we are doing lot of activities outside and it is lot of pressure. We are coming here to get pleasure. If you come for the pleasure, you are not convinced. If you come for something else to get more convinced, then it is easy. Also, one more thing, we are acting as controllers of ourselves. We still did not give up our body under the control of Krishna. How many of us gave like that? No one. Krishna is still not controlling us. We are acting on our free will. If I want to come to this class today, I will come. If I don't come also, does Krishna say anything? Krishna says anything? He won't say anything. Krishna doesn't say anything. Why are you not coming to the class? Oh, you are not convinced. Krishna is not telling it. So, we are still under our free will. That's why we have not given our control, our remote control to Krishna's hands. That you control now. We have not given yet. That's why it appears to be very difficult. Still we think that we are controller of the families. We are protector of the families. I am going to office, I am earning, I am feeding the families, children, I am sending them to school. I am sending them to school. Krishna is not sending them to school. understand. Krishna is not sending them, I am sending them to school. I am. When I say I am, that means I am associated with this body. Whenever you say it's mine, that means it is not yours. There is a subtle thing here. Whenever, if you ask me whose book is this, automatically I will say it's my book. I will say it's my book. If I say it's my book, does it attach to me? It's not attached to me. Book is separated, body is separated. But you are claiming this is mine. When you say I am means something should be separated from you. One is body, one is the soul. I am means I am attaching to this body, but soul is not attached to the body. Soul is going out in the form of death. As I mentioned, if I say it's mine, it is not mine. If I say I am this body, I am not this body. Then who I am? We should understand that. Who I am. Then it is very easy to understand Krishna. Otherwise, very difficult. Krishna says here, if you understand my appearance and activities, upon leaving this body, you will get back. But it is so difficult for us to understand that one. Got the point? Very difficult, because we are attached. Still we are not giving up. Our bodies are in our control, not in Krishna's control. We are not given. Today we will understand how and when we will turn to Krishna. That is our message today. At what situation you will turn to Krishna? That one we are going to understand today. Till then I will try to tell why it is very difficult. Even though this is not our place, but we claim to be this as our place, so we bought so many properties all over the world, okay, including me. Okay, so but we all know this is not our world, but still try to claim something from it. Correct? And people, they are thinking earth is not enough, they are even buying the properties in the moon. Okay? They are even, if Krishna gives Goloka also, if he sells, we will buy it. Correct? But Krishna says in 5.29, he says, Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhuthanam Natvamam Shantim Rachati. We claim it is our property. That's why we are buying so many properties. But Krishna says, a person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, he is the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material misery. So he says, he is the proprietor of all planets and demigods. But still we try to buy profit. It is not our place. If you understand this, you are instantly liberated. Why we don't understand this yet? Because we are attached to this material world, to this body, thinking that I am the controller and I am the everything, I am the master. You all should surrender to me. Material world, the difference of master and servant. Material world, always there is a boss, master. Always there are servants. Spiritual world, we always address someone else as Prabhu. That means you are my master, I am your servant. Opposite. When we try to come to this understanding by leaving the material attachments, by understanding that this is not this world for us to live in, it says this world is Dukkalayam Ashashvatam also. Dukkalayam, full of suffering. This world is full of suffering. But we still think that we are controlling. For example, if you have some problem in your office, what you will immediately do? You will make a big issue, right? If you are the boss. If you are the boss, you will make a big issue. Who asked you to write this? Who told you to do this? Who asked you? Who gave you the permission? Every question we will ask them if there is an issue. Then your higher management will ask you, okay, what's next? Then you will try to think, okay, I should give a permanent solution for it so that it will never repeat. Then you put a process so that the process is followed and this mistake will never happen. We all do that, right? In our daily activities. But in this material world, we think that we have given some permanent solutions for some things. I have made financial planning for my entire life. No problem. I have 10 million crores, 1 lakh crores of rupees. No problem. I have a permanent solution. I can stay happily forever. We plan, right? There is nothing wrong in it. But can we give permanent solutions for birth, old age, disease and death? We cannot give permanent solutions for this one. Why? Because we are not the manufacturer of it. If it is our home, we have full control. If it is not our home, it is not in our control. We are controlled by someone. Correct? Similarly, we cannot control birth, old age, disease and death. There is no permanent solution that we, a human being, can give. As far as we don't understand this shloka will not apply to us. This shloka will apply to us only when we understand Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and when we understand the activities of Krishna, the leelas of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna, then only we are eligible to understand Him. Then we will go back to Krishna's abode. You got the point? How to understand this Krishna? We have to give up our material attachments, material bondages. We have to come out from the clutches of modes of material nature. We have to give up false ego that I am the doer. We have to give up that false ego. Then in that pure state of mind you can understand Krishna. I'll still come back to the point when we will turn to Krishna. Now we understood this, okay? What we understood, we are not this body.